Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Hinda Ali. I will be teaching you science this year. If you enjoy science with me, and let's start. System 1 is talking about systems. Concept 1 is talking about adaptation and survival. Lesson 1 is talking about adaptation. Can you repeat after me? Adaptation, 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 adaptation. Okay. Can you stand on ice with bare feet for about 5 minutes? That would be difficult. If you want to try it at home, bring cubes of ice and try to stand on them, or try to hold them between your hands for 5 minutes. That would be difficult. You can't stand for that. You can't handle that. Okay, but how can penguins stay on ice, play on ice, and sleep on ice for their whole life? How that would be possible? Okay. Today, we're gonna talk about adaptation. Repeat after me again. Adaptation, adaptation, adaptation. Adaptation is a characteristic. Okay, what's the meaning of characteristic? That's a new word we're gonna learn. Characteristic means a common thing between a living organism. Common thing between a living organism. Okay, what's the meaning of living organism? Living organism includes three things. Includes us as human, include plants. So living organism includes human and plant, and includes animals. So living organism includes human, plant, and animals. Human, plant, and animals. So adaptation is a characteristic of a living organism that allow them to change over generations and help them to survive and reproduce in the ecosystem. So the adaptation helps the living organism to have a better and easier life. With the meaning of ecosystem, okay, close your eyes, and imagine a jungle. What can you see? I can see trees, animals, soil, air, plants, birds, maybe insects. Is that an ant? Okay. What? So you can see animals, plant, and air and soil. So you can see living and non-living things. And that's what all about the ecosystem. So the ecosystem is about living and non-living organisms. So a ecosystem, sorry, ecosystem is a place where you can find living and non-living things. Okay. So the first example for the adaptation is the penguin. Repeat after me. Penguin, 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 penguin. Okay. It's a habitat. What is the habitat of the penguin? The penguin lives, where does the penguin live? The penguin live in Antarctica. Repeat after me. Antarctica, Antarctica, Antarctica. Antarctica is one of the coldest places on Earth. Antarctica is one of the coldest places on Earth. When you imagine a penguin, you imagine ice and snow, or I'm sorry, you can imagine snow. The ice is different from the snow. So you can imagine snow. Okay. And this snow exists or I'm sorry, this snow exists in Antarctica. So the place where the penguin lives in Antarctica. Now repeat after me. Antarctica, Antarctica. Now let's talk about its adaptation. Look at the penguin's feet. Look at the photo and look at the penguin's feet. Can you see any feathers in the penguin's feet? No, there is no feather. Okay, can you see any fat in the penguin's feet? No, there is no fat. So how can it stand on ice for its whole life, or I'm sorry, stand on snow for its whole life without having any feather or any fat on its leg or its feet? How is that could even be possible? Okay. This is the penguin's feet. As you can see, there's two types of blood in the penguin's feet: cold blood and warm blood. The blood vessels bring cold blood up from feet, and that means that the cold blood moves from the penguin's feet to its body through blood vessels, and warm blood moves from the penguin's body through blood vessels to its feet. That's the opposite direction to the cold blood. Cold blood and warm blood have opposite direction. So the blood vessels bring cold blood from the feet to the penguin's body, and the other blood vessels bring down the warm blood from the body to the penguin's feet, and there's exchange of heat between both of them. So this makes the penguin's feet able to stand on ice for its whole life. So there is exchange of heat between cold blood and warm blood. Or you can say it in another way. We can say that there's a transfer of heat. There's a heat transfer from this warm blood to cold blood. So there's a transfer of heat to the penguin's feet. Okay. So again, there's two types of blood: cold blood and warm blood, and we have the blood vessels. The blood vessels transfer the cold blood from the feet to the body, and the warm blood to the in the opposite direction from the body to the penguin's feet. And there's heat transfer, okay, or heat exchange. This another photo represents the penguin's feet. There's exchange of heat from or between the blood vessels, the cold blood and the warm blood, as you can see. And this heat transferred to the penguin's feet. Now we'll talk about camouflage. Camouflage is an example for adaptation. Camouflage is an example for adaptation. Camouflage is an example of adaptation in which some animals hide from their predators or their prey by blending in with the surrounding environment. Okay, I will give you an example so you can imagine what I'm talking about. If you put a polar bear in the snow, can you see it? No, you can't, because the polar bear's skin is white, or fur, the polar bear fur is white, and the snow is white as well. Camouflage is an example of adaptation in which some animals hide from their predators or their prey by blending in with the surrounding environment. In the case of the polar bear, the surrounding environment is the snow. The first example for camouflage is the polar bear. Okay, its habitat. Where does the polar bear live? The polar bear lives in Arctic region. Okay, its adaptation. Look at the polar bear. How many polar bears in this photo? If you know if you know the answer, comment below and tell me the answer. Adaptation. The polar bear has white fur, and the snow is white. So the polar bear can blend in with the snow and sneaks up its prey. The second example for camouflage is brown and dark bear. So we talked talked about the first example, which is a polar bear. The second example is brown and dark bear. Okay. What is the color of the brown bear or dark bear? The brown bear is brown, and the tree is brown. So the brown or the dark bear blend in with the tree. Why? So it can hunt. So it sneaks up It's prey. And now let's talk about caracal and fennec fox. Caracal and fennec fox. The one up is fennec fox, and the one down is caracal. Caracal and fennec fox. Their habitat. They live in desert. They live in desert. They live in desert. Their adaptation. If you have noticed that the color of their fur is sandy colored fur, what is the main purpose of that? To help them hide and blend in with the desert. So the color of the caracal and fennec fox is sandy colored fur. What's the main purpose? To help them hide and blend in with the desert. The next example is some types of lizards. Some types of lizards. The lizard can be green, or can be this color, can be this color. Their habitat, they have many habitats. They can live in various environments. They can live in trees, they can live on trees, they can live on rocks. Okay. Their adaptation, they have colorful scales that make them hard to see among the rocks. So they take the color of the things they are standing on, whether it's a tree, whether it's a rock. So their habitat, some types of lizards live in the desert, while other types live in other environments and quiet colorful rocks. Their adaptation, they have colorful scales that make them hard to see among the rocks. Okay, that's all for today. If you have anything you want to ask me about, just comment me below and tell me. If you have any question, anything you didn't get, just comment me below and I will answer you. That's all for today. Thank you. I'm Miss Ali, and thank you.